Good morning, good afternoon, and again, good evening, wherever you are in the world. One more presentation for today. As you can see that not much has changed. The same background, the same white t-shirt, but as I study and I keep recalling what I feel that it's very important to share, I should do so. As I just said earlier on, and I have been saying this, that sharing in the aviation world is very important. Sharing of knowledge, because you may save yourself and lives. If you may save yourself and lives, and you may also save other people's lives as well, if they encounter certain scenarios that are a bit unpleasant. So today, on this next one, I wanted to just share with you the knowledge on my recent training that I've just done. We call it a recurrent training. And I was expecting and I was really hoping to get this exercise that we were given. And it's to do with the loss of generated power. Loss of generated power. So important that it's very, very rare that this happens, but it could happen. And I just wanted to share with those of you who could encounter this in the simulator, or just if you didn't know what happens and how it works. I just wanted to tell you a few things. As you know that my presentations are not that luxury, so you just have to have a pen and a paper, or a pencil and a paper next to you, and you make notes and you pause whatever I say, you jot it down if it's useful to you. And it will be nice to even see some of the comments coming up, and maybe you might even have new or different details to what the content of the videos are. It will be much appreciated if you could do that as well. So, once again, I would like to emphasize that, as I just did previously, that QRH is a very, very important book. One of the very important books that you ought to be having on you, on your purse, on your phone, on your gadgets, that you read every time, whenever you are free, if you are in a restaurant or you are waiting for somebody in the car, or anywhere when you are free, in the morning when you wake up, whenever you are free, grab the QRH, read it. Read chapter after chapter repetitively. Okay, repetitively, you finish and you come back. And this applies, as I said, whether you're flying the A380 or a turboprop. Okay, or further down to a general aviation aircraft. It will save you, it will help you, and it will really, really be very useful to you when you go for your recurrent trainings or your other type ratings that you might get. So this applies to everything. Now, I was trying to list the chapters of the QRH in the previous one. I think I did muddle up somewhere, but if I do recall, chapter 4, 5 was correctly said, 6 was out of flight, 7 was fuselage fire, smoke or fumes, 8 was emergency landing and forced landings, 9 is electricals, 10 flight controls, 11 fuel, 12 hydraulics, 13 ice protection, rain protection, and 14 is landing gear. This is for the Q400. Okay, because of my excessive reading and rereading and reading, it gets in the head. Okay, it's very important for your personal development. It's very important. Okay, memory items, as I said, are without exception, you've got to know them, but the whole QRH is an extremely important thing that you have to know. Okay, that I've now spent a couple of minutes in this presentation, the previous one, emphasizing the need for you to have the QRH typically in the head. Okay, now we can talk of this exercise of loss of generated power. So when that exercise was given to us in the simulator, and if God forbid it happens in a real aircraft, the first thing, everything goes dark, The engine display will be there, a bit faint. I hope you're noting these things down. So you get loss of generated power means you've lost your electricity. Everything goes dark. All you have is engine display, and it's quite faint, but it's quite visible. The first thing you do as a captain, because the left-hand seat pilot takes over the control, is that you select your PFD to your MFD. Okay, that's the first thing you do, because your PFD will be operable, but it will be on your PFD display won't be operable, but your MFD display will be operable. So you actually transfer your PFD to the MFD by switching a knob on the center pedestal. The moment you have that, what you will see on the display will be your flight directors will be there. Okay, that's the good news. And you'll have other information that is pertaining to the PFD on the display as well. The next thing that you should do is you call for the QRH, the checklist. Okay, and once the checklist has been executed, as I said in the previous video, or if I didn't, I'm saying it now, that when you get a scenario, try and not just stick to that scenario. Think ahead, and don't just prepare for the exercise that has been given to you on a profile, on a syllabus for that particular exercise. So for example, let me deviate a bit, okay? If I'm mixing things up, bear with me, but I just have to explain to you what I'm trying to say. If you had a scenario of, let's say, for example, engine failing the cruise, okay? By the way, we're going to come back to the loss of generated power. But if you had a scenario that you had to be trained on or assessed on, you don't just go and prepare only for that and show the instructor, okay, I've done this much as per my SOP. Not a nice thing. Once you've done your exercise, you've completed your QRH, your memory items, you've secured, let's say, the failed engine in the cruise, you foiled the aircraft from crashing, saving lives, everything is done. You don't just sit there, hands folded, and wait for the instructor to tell you, good job. Yes, he may or she may tell you, that was good, but then what? Do you just keep just freeze? No, you don't. Think a bit of outside the box. Look at your distance to your destination and departure. Can you continue? Can you not continue? Can you return back? Do you have to return back because the environment at the destination is not very conducive to a landing? Look at your distance. Can you consider an air start while progressing the flight or while returning? So all those things, after you have secured the engine, you have descended to the right level, and you've applied for the proper QRA checklist, you got to be proactive. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so remember that when you go for your training, you are given a piece of paper that will be assessing you on ABCD. Prepare on those items, yes, but then for each item even think a bit more, that once I'm done, do I just sit there or do I exercise my mind and think more? In that way, you become a competent material and somebody who thinks. This I'm saying it here sitting on this chair because it's from experience. Okay, it doesn't just come like that, but the more you do these things, the more you value, you appreciate, you enjoy, you have fun in your training, you get to know these things. Okay, that's one very important thing. Now let's get back to our discussion for this presentation, which is called for loss of generated power. So what I said is that everything's going to go dark. The captain will switch the selector to the MFD1, so the PFD goes to the MFD. What you'll see there is flight directors. At the same time, you're also going to go vertical speed and heading select. You don't have an FMS. And nav source should be to the blue needles. That's going to give you raw data. Okay. Call for the QRH. And because that was an exercise, you don't just, it says, and let's say if you've read more about it, it says descend. Obviously, because you've lost your pressurization as well. But before that, it tells you to do some resets, switching on and off of a couple of switches in sequence and the like. If you read the QRH, you'll see it for this particular checklist. So you do those actions, and then it might be resettable, for example. Just because the syllabus said non-resettable, or maybe loss of generated power, and in your mind you went to the simulator and you just prepared only for that, and you start descending the aircraft without even checking if it's resettable or not a very good sign. Okay, not that you can be crucified, but you'll be told that, come on, think a bit more. What if it was resettable? What if everything came back online once you moved the switches here and there? You know, so that sort of thing is bear in mind next time if you are going for sim. Okay, and also on other areas as well. Don't just prepare for what you are asked to prepare for, but even think a bit more. Okay, discuss with your partner, CRM, what can we do? Can we? Can't we? What do the books say? Lots of things have to be integrated. It's so interesting. You know, your mind is thinking in lots of different avenues, and you come to a good decision and a good conclusion. Okay, that's my advice. So in this example of ours, we don't have the privilege to get it resetted. So the QRH item says you go descend to 14,000. Okay, or if terrain is not a factor, descend to 10,000. So you start immediately doing your emergency descent procedure. Okay, and every company may have their own, but basically it's the same. All right, you push the oxygen switch, couple of swings on the altitude selector, all cell, IAS, power levers to flight idle, condition levers to max, and off you go down. Okay, of course having worn your oxygen mask. Now you're at the safe level, you're flying. Remember, there is no autopilot. Autopilot is not there. So any mode that you select on the FGCP will be reflected on the flight directors. Okay, so important, you need to know about this. Okay, so you trim the aircraft, put it in the bars, and follow what you are trying to achieve. Okay, very important. Now you've reached a suitable level, pressurization is not an issue, remove your oxygen masks and the like, of course after communicating with the cabin passengers and the like. Now you want to know what to do. Okay, so you must also remember that you won't have a VOR, but you will have a VOR. You have the VOR signal on number 1, but you don't have DME. Okay, you have VOR, but you don't have DME. I hope you are listing these things down as we go along. So when to start descent towards destination where you are going to land, now it depends on radar vectoring. You can use a 3-degree rule as well. I'm at this level, I want to descend that level. Find the difference, the first 2 digits times 3, that's your distance and the like. Or more precisely, radar, if it's a radar environment, the radar controller will give you instructions start descending, giving you vectors. By the way, you won't have any luxury on any display there as regards to the magentas and the like. Okay, so you're just using your heading, your course, your FGCP is working, intercepting radials, intercepting the center line until the controller puts you on the finals. And then it's just a normal procedure for the ILS approach or the VOR approach or whatever it is. Okay, not terribly difficult, but that's what you do. Okay, so the actions once again: PFD to MFD, vertical speed, heading select, nav source to blue needles. At the QRH stage where it says you have to descend after failing to reset, do the descent procedure manually, gently. Okay, once you level off, contact control, ask for radar vectors, ask them when you can start our descent, and guidance to vector you towards the runway. That's it. Okay, so not a big deal, but if you use that sequence, pretty much all good. I think that would be about it, but anything else that is coming to my mind as I recall from my current sessions of training, I will definitely put it on these videos, in these presentations, so at least you know what to expect if next time you get it as well. And if you have better ideas and better knowledge, please share in the comments. It will be much appreciated as well. Okay, so that's all about it for now. And once again, QRH, manuals, reading is very important. Till the next time and next one, you enjoy yourselves, be safe, and bye-bye.